Ren from Hallowed Be Thy Game, and I am finally back to share my most recent pickups. Let's check it out. Welcome back to a long-delayed episode of Hallowed Be Thy Game. I just want to thank you all so much for your patience over this extremely extended break. For those who may be new to the channel, that is by no means common, and I'm excited to tell you that I'm back and I'm finally able to get back to a regular upload schedule. So right now the current plan is once a week uploads going forward. But I will give a more extended update in the future if people would like to know. Otherwise, just hop in the Discord and yeah, you could probably find out there. Anyways, I just want to thank you all so much for watching. And if you enjoy these types of pickups videos, please consider liking and subscribing and hit that notification bell so you can be notified as soon as videos go live. But I have a little bit of everything here today, ranging from the PlayStation 1 all the way up to some holy grail items. I actually have two items in today's pickups that just absolutely blow me away. But since my last pickups video was about 6 or 7 months ago, I'm going to be breaking up my pickups over the past half year into two videos. So there will definitely be another video coming in the near future. As of the making of this video, there's a Nintendo Direct about to drop, so that might delay part 2 of this by maybe a week or two. But anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into my PlayStation pickups. At the beginning of this year, I dove into the Kingsfield series. Now, I only have all of the US releases right now, but I've actually completed the unreleased Japanese version. I did play it on Steam Deck. I was able to get a emulator set up to play a translated version. And wow, what a charming series. Obviously not going to be for everybody. Extremely dated visuals and everything, but being such a massive fan of the Souls genre, it was really cool to see kind of the inception point and just kind of the bare bones aesthetic and see kind of hints of things that would eventually lead to the Souls series and obviously Elden Ring. And yeah, I just, what a wild, unique experience. As of right now, I've taken a little bit of a break. I am currently working on the US release Kingsfield 1, which is technically 2. It's kind of like a Final Fantasy numbering system, but I have been fortunate enough to be able to pick up the entire US release. So yeah, we have Kingsfield 1 and 2 here. Kingsfield 3, the Ancient City. It's not called Kingsfield 3, but yeah, it was the PS2 release. And it's actually the release I'm not looking forward to playing the most. It actually looks less fun to play than the PlayStation ones, but we will see. I will be sure to report back on my entire thoughts. But moving on, speaking of the Soul series, I finally added Demon Souls for the PS3 to my collection. I have the PS5 remake, which is a nigh perfect game in my opinion. I just had such a wonderful time with it. If you want to know what kind of gamer I am for action RPGs, Demon Souls is maybe my favorite. It's really up there competing with the first Dark Souls as one of my favorite action RPGs of all time. But yeah, just an absolutely enchanting experience. And I have played the PS3 version, but I've only ever beaten it on the PS5. I will be sure to give an update video as to what craziness has been going on in my life in the future. However, I have unfortunately been behind the times, and I've only been able to game a little bit, so I have not been able to play Stellar Blade, and I'm so ashamed. There's quite a few games. I'm not going to go into detail on all the games I'm sad I haven't been able to get to just yet, but Stellar Blade is just mocking me. As soon as I'm done with SMT V Vengeance, I'm going to be hopping into this and a few other big releases. But yes, I'm finally ready to go, and what a weird controversy and whatnot coming out. It just... my faith in the Western devs is just going through the toilet, but again, I'm not going to get into that. Now, thanks to jrpg Jungle, my interest has finally been super peaked on the Crystar series, particularly Crystar Cry Machina. Now, I did pick up Crystar, played it a little bit. It didn't really resonate with me immediately, but there is a lot of potential there. But Cry Machina is looking phenomenal. I can't wait to get to it. I love the Valkyria Chronicles series. I did play this first one digitally on the Switch, but unfortunately, to my knowledge, there's not a physical version available for this on Switch just yet. and I saw that it had a reprinting, I believe through VGP. This was a bit ago. So I had to go ahead and pick up a physical copy of the first Valkyria Chronicles. Really happy to have it. I love Valkyria Chronicles 1 and 4. They're some of my absolute favorite, extremely unique RTS. I don't even know what you'd call them, like real-time strategy. Yeah, they're excellent. I love them. Cannot recommend them enough. Now, a game I mean to come back and kind of give the time it deserves is Zanki Zero. I've heard a lot of good things. I've heard a lot of not so incredible things. I'm excited to get into it myself because if you watch the channel for any length of time, I don't really pay a lot of heed to certain negative reviews. So I like to kind of, if I'm interested, I like to give it my own fair shot. And yeah, I'll be sure to report back on my total thoughts on Zanki Zero in the future. Now, this is a game that I had to get rid of many moons ago, and I've been looking to get it back, and it's finally back in the collection, Castlevania Lament of Innocence. Now, when I first played this back when it released, I was really kind of scared of this game. I wasn't very much into, like, horror games, but just kind of the atmosphere of this game kind of spooked me when I was younger. Even though when it released, I was not very young. But yeah, anyways, I'm excited to have it back, and I love this game. It was one of the first Castlevanias I ever actually played, and I fell in love with it. I think it's an excellent game, and it doesn't really get the respect it deserves. I don't hear a ton of people talk about this, and to be fair, when you have things like Symphony of the Night or Super Castlevania, it's kind of hard to get a fair shot. But yeah, Castlevania Lament of Innocence, of the PS2 kind of 3D Castlevanias, I think it's really good. Now, one series I am excited to get into, and I've only been able to play the first one a little bit, is the Champions of Norrath 1 and 2. So here we have Champions of Norrath and Champions of Norrath Return to Arms. Now, I have kind of bemoaned the fact that I have fallen very much out of love with Western RPGs over the years, and I feel like the PS2 was really one of the last great hurrahs for me, like kind of falling in love with kind of the Western aesthetic for RPGs. Now, I'm not really going to get into it. Obviously, I love like Bethesda type games, but I'm not really one who seeks out Western RPGs a ton anymore unless it's a very unique situation. But yeah, I'm really excited to jump into these more. I love the aesthetic. The gameplay looks fun. Now, moving on, I have a couple of 3DS games to pick up. We have Luigi's Mansion 1 and 2. I was able to pick up a 3DS for my son through a friend in the Discord, a fitty of mine. A huge shout out to you. Thank you so much. You rock. He has fallen in love with all the Kirby games and all the Luigi's Mansion games, and I've just kind of been on a mad hunt to be able to get him to play it. Now, I know that Luigi's Mansion 2 is about to come to Switch, but the first Luigi's Mansion is also on the 3DS, and there's a ton of Kirby games we're looking to dive into here. I'll be sure to do another update on some of the other Kirby games I picked up for him in a future pickups video. But yeah, we've been going through all the Kirby and Luigi's Mansion games right now, and it is such a wonderful experience to have with my son. It's just really, Nintendo just does it best to be able to bring the family together, and I love it. One of the last games I kind of have on my radar for the 3DS, One Piece Unlimited World. There is one massive 3DS game I want to get, but it's one of those that's going to put a big hurting on my wallet, and it'll be a holy grail pickup in the future if it ever happens, if I'm ever able to just kind of bite the bullet. But right now, One Piece Unlimited World, haven't been able to play it yet. I haven't really heard phenomenal things about all the others. As much as I enjoyed Romance Dawn, I'm not immediately drawn to the other One Piece games, but I will be reporting back on this. Now, moving on to the Nintendo Switch, my beloved Switch. Yes, we have SMT V Vengeance. This is what I'm actively playing right now, and it's blowing me away. I beat the original SMT V 3 or 4 times. I 100%ed the game, got all the Demon Compendium filled up, and I love the way it runs on Switch. It looks gorgeous. All the haters out there about the Switch's performance can suck it. It's still slamming on Switch. But yeah, I love this game, and the Canon of Vengeance route has been unique enough to really just make it feel like I'm not retreading content. Obviously, you're visiting a lot of familiar places, but there's a lot more added gameplay mechanics, a lot more story beats, new characters. It just feels like a new experience, and I'm hooked. I keep playing this until I kill the battery on my Switch every night, and yeah, I can't get enough of it. Totally recommending it. I'm sure I will post a more thorough video on it in the future. And again, like I said, my son and I have been delving into the Kirby games, and Kirby Return to Dreamland is potentially my favorite Kirby game. I think I always will prefer Planet Robobot over it, but the Magalore side story, after you beat the main story, you can play as the villain. It's so charming. It's so fun. New progression path and everything. And I was just really pleasantly surprised by it. Kirby Return to Dreamland, totally recommend for your family. And Kirby Star Allies, we kind of knocked this one out super fast. It's extremely easy. It's very fun. Kind of fun for the whole family, as always. This is a great one for someone who might be brand spanking new to gaming. Kirby games are not extremely hard to begin with, but I think Star Allies is even more approachable to younger audiences. So yeah, this is just a charming experience. I love the 2D Kirby games, and I'm hoping to see more at maybe the Nintendo Direct. Now I have picked up Signalis. Sorry, I'm probably saying that wrong. This was a recommendation from Radical Reggie, and I trust his recommendations. I haven't been able to get to this one yet. It looks spooky. I kind of got to build up the courage, be able to tackle this one. But I really love the aesthetic, the PS1 kind of art style, and yeah, it looks like an incredible game. And I've literally heard nobody say anything negative about it. So yep, excited to get into this one. Now I have picked up the Monster Hunter double pack here, 1 and 2. I believe one of these games, probably the first one, is DLC. But I just think this is such an awesome way to I hope we see more from this, from companies where they can kind of port other older gen games to the Switch or current consoles with double packs. I love these things. I think they're cool. I don't necessarily think they're going to be ultra collectible or anything like that, but yeah, I had to have it. Now I have picked up Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. Sadly, one I've not been able to dive into yet. However, this one's kind of a gift to myself for my birthday. A good buddy of mine sent me a digital code for this over on Steam. He gave it his full recommendation. He was having a really good time with it. I wanted to jump into it and kind of experience it, and the more I thought about it, I was like, hey, you know what? I got the prequel to this. I need to complete the set on Switch. That's on me. That's kind of my collector brain starting to taunt me. I don't normally, if I have a digital copy of a game, I do not want to pick up the physical copy, but in this situation, I made an exception. Now, another recommendation from Radical Reggie, Pocky and Rocky Reshrined. I believe this is a twin stick shooter. It was on an absolute dirt cheap discount. I couldn't pass it up. And yeah, I've heard some good things about it. And these are the kind of games I like to pick up, turn my brain off, and just kind of, blast enemies. But yep, excited to get to it. And, sometimes I'm in the mood for a good story, and I have Azure laying Crosswave. I've not been able to get to this one yet. It looks completely absurd, looks kind of stupid, but that's my wheelhouse. If you've been watching this channel for any length of time, I can't get enough of those kind of wild and crazy games. And to finish off my Switch pickups here for these normal editions, we have Touhou Luna Nights. I am so in love with this game. It's such a fantastic game. I have played it already, but when I saw that it was getting a physical release, I had to make the exception. I was just so happy to see this get a physical port to Switch, and I was there day one. Freaking love this game. Highest of recommendations for anybody who's in the need for kind of like some Symphony of Night, Metroidvania love, and good times. You can't go wrong here. Now, I did want to go ahead and share some of the wild collector's editions I have right now. And beyond a holy grail, a game that has been something that's been taunting me for so long, and I've been on the lookout for, is Daggerfall. This is the big box PC edition. I recently beat Daggerfall this year, and holy moly, was that one of the most infuriating final dungeons I've ever played in a game. However, Daggerfall's world is where it's at. I would like almost... You could play this game and never even touch a storyline like other Elder Scrolls games and have a blast with it. But yeah, I can't recommend Daggerfall enough to some people who are maybe more okay with older school game mechanics and just want to get lost in the world. It is definitely an addiction you can get hooked on pretty hard. But yeah, I had a blast with it. Definitely play the Unity version, but this is such a beautiful collector's edition. I've wanted it for many years and happy to have it in the game room. And I am so happy to be able to tell you that I have the Muv-Luv 20th Anniversary Collector's Edition. This was quite the journey and tale to get. It did pop up on PlayAsia, and it went very fast. Unfortunately, I was not able to pick it up through PlayAsia, and I was kicking myself. But then it kind of dawned on me to check Amazon Japan, and I've never bought from Amazon Japan before, so I wasn't really sure what to do, especially with the big box collector's edition. Amazon is notoriously bad, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the chance. I was able to pick it up at retail, and it survived the journey, and I freaking love it. It's got, obviously, Muv-Luv trilogy on it, but also offers a download code for all the for the day after mega run. And so I'm excited to be able to finally get to the day after storylines. But for longtime viewers of the channel, you know I consider the trilogy my favorite visual novel series, but also I love some of the other spin-offs, like, you know, the Project Mikhail. I'm so ecstatic to have Muv-Luv physically on the Switch, at least the trilogy. Would I prefer they have put the day after on the cart? Yes, that's extremely obnoxious and it tilts me. However, yeah, I couldn't pass up on this one. Now, beyond a holy grail pickup, Sea of Stars was an instant classic, and I was so happy to be able to support this as an early backer. And I'll be honest, I backed it in like 2019, I want to say, and just this year it finally showed up. But I gotta say, it was worth the wait. I have a kind of love-hate relationship with limited run games, but I'm going to be honest, they crushed it with this one. The retro art style, making it look like a Super Nintendo box piece. Oh my gosh, I can't get enough of it. Absolutely gorgeous. And they did it right. When it was going to be mega delayed, they sent a digital copy to early backers to be able to play it at release. So yeah, I have 100%ed Sea of Stars. Honestly, instantly one of my favorite games of all time. It makes me want to remake my top 20 at least. Maybe not my top 100, but at least my top 20 favorite video games of all time. I don't know if anybody would be even interested in that, because it was only, I guess it's been a couple years since I've done it. But yes, anyways, ecstatic to have this. I did pick up the Grand Blue Fantasy Relink Collector's Edition. Yet another one taunting me to get to. Soon. And to end out my collector's editions, I did pick up Trinity Trigger. It was on a dirt cheap discount quite a while ago. But yeah, like I said, it's been 6 months. But now that wraps up part 1 of my most recent pickups. There's quite a few others. And for those of you who may know me, you know there's probably some really big releases that haven't, you know, shown up on this. And all I got to say is check out part 2. That'll be coming in the next few weeks. Anyways, I want to thank you all so much for watching my most recent pickups. Please let me know what your favorite pickup is from this year down in the comments. And also, I just want to give a big thank you from the bottom of my heart to everybody who reached out to me through Discord or DMs on Twitter, comments, and some of you who even emailed me. I read all your comments, and even though I didn't necessarily have the heart and or time to be able to respond to everybody, I want you to know that it truly meant a lot to me and helped me kind of through all of that. But anyways, I want to thank you again. And yes, I'm back. Be expecting a video upload at least every week. I wish you all the best. I'm happy to be back, and I'll see you next time.